It's your birthday tomorrow.
It is.
Excited?
I am. I'm going to turn the big
Cool.
31.
31.
31.
What are you doing for it? You're going out for dinner.
Yeah. So we're in level 2 now. We spent 2 weeks in level 3, which was great. Got to see Casey again. But now in level 2, restaurants are open, cinemas are open as of the week after next.
Yep.
Bars will be open as well.
So how many people though?
I can't remember. I think
10?
no, it's more than that. I think.
Shit.
Yeah.
They're doing 10 in New South Wales.
Public venues are open again. Museums and libraries, cinemas, markets, restaurants. All public venues must keep records to enable contact tracing. Each individual or group of 10, up to 10 people, is kept 1 meter apart, and no group has more than 10 people. So there will be able to be more than 10 people in a restaurant. It can be, 6 tables of 8 people, and as long as they're all seated and have some space between them, that's all good.
So how many friends are you going out with tomorrow?
There'll be 6 of us.
So that's half the restaurant.
No, you clearly didn't listen to anything I just said. Multiple groups of up to 10 people.
Oh, okay. I was still thinking about the thing that I said.
Okay, yeah, that seems par for the course. But yeah. Last night, Casey and I went out for dinner, and we were the only people in the restaurant. But that was more. That was more by. That was an accident, because as it happened, I was looking at a restaurant as a potential dinner date, and the restaurant at that time happened to have accidentally turned on their booking system as they were preparing for next week when they were planning to reopen. And I just went in and I put in a booking, assuming, the booking system's open. And then they got my confirmation through, and they were like, oh, fuck, someone's turned on the website. So they still honored it, but they weren't expecting to have any people actually dining in until next week. So we had the restaurant to ourselves.
Nice, man. What kind of food was it?
It was really good, actually. It was just like a fish supper. So we had a whole roast fish, like a side salad. There was like a dal, like a spicy dal. There was some sort of potato pasties. I guess just like modern Kiwi. But yeah, like a fresh cooked Invercargill cod. The guy told us that they killed the cod really humanely. Rather than letting it like suffocate on the deck, they bash its head in. So I thought that was nice.
They bashed its head in?
Yeah, so rather than suffocate, which is just, painful and everything, it's just like a quick kind of cattle prod style.
Yeah.
And,
I like
no
that
more
the guys
suffering.
just like, now guys, just to let you know, we do things ethically here, and the fish that you're about to eat, he died quickly, and just by having his head bashed in, and there was no pain.
Yeah.
There was a lot of blood.
Yeah, his brains
a lot of bits of
went
fish bones everywhere from his skull, but it was a quick death.
Yeah, but the head was still attached, so it wasn't that powerful
Enjoy.
a piston, because there was still some teeth. That's all I'll say.
Took me a while to get into fish. Took me a very long time.
I'm going to start the podcast there. I'm going to cut out all of the talk about everything leading up to that, and I just want the first line for you to be, took me a while to get into fish. That's where it's going to start. That's where everyone's now jumped into.
Do it like a Chris Nolan edit.
Yeah.
So we'll just jump around.
We'll jump around. Where did time start?
At the end.
Why did you take a while to warm up to fish?
I just feel like as a kid, like there's something like gross about fish. Even now, fish is like one of those foods that it can really, if you take something really seafoody, it's like, like even like really something really like smelling from the sea smells like. But
that's actually is like counterintuitive, because the fishier and like seaier it smells like, it tends to mean that it's like older. So like the real fresh fish stuff doesn't actually stink in that same way.
Does it not?
No.
Well, maybe I've just only ever had stuff that's been old, which is it's a
totally
strong possibility, to be honest. Yeah.
Like if it's been frozen and then like defrosted and that sort of stuff, you tend to get that smell hanging around. I know what you mean.
That's pretty much my only experience from fish.
But have you ever like sniffed a chicken breast? I mean, it's also got like other meats have smells as well. It's just you're probably more used to them.
I think you should start the podcast there. Have you ever sniffed a chicken breast?
I'm going to start
I
it there
yeah,
when you repeated the line that you said that you should start for me. So I'm just going to still have you saying it. You'll sound like the idiot.
Yeah, I'm powerless. But fish does have seafood has a more pungent smell.
It's true, yeah.
Than
But I mean,
chicken
like
titties.
fish as well. Like I don't think of fish as. I mean, things like salmon, I suppose, do have quite a strong smell. But the ones that I'm still not like huge into, oysters or prawns or scallops or those kind of things.
You don't like prawns?
Like I'll eat prawns, but like I'd never go to the shops and be like, you know what, I need a pack of prawns.
Really?
Yeah.
I love a prawn curry.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't have them like on a barbecue. Classic prawns, big old prawns. Yeah. Pass.
Yeah, a couple of prawns on the barbie.
Did you try and impersonate your own accent and get it wrong?
I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Full stop. It's a
Tell me
lovely
more
day
about
today.
that.
It was 3 degrees this morning, where I was.
Wow.
3 degrees.
AM.
Yeah.
Jeez. Gosh.
Yeah.
My. Wow.
Riveting stuff.
Saw a bus today.
Yeah.
One of those big ones. Had like the springy bit in the middle.
Like a double bus.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool though. I
Have
wouldn't
you,
have.
have you stood
I
in the
wouldn't have
middle of
thought
those? If I go into a
Yeah.
double springy bus, I'll try and stand in the springy middle bit.
It's a real thrill.
It's a thrill. That's
Yeah.
where the daredevils like to hang out.
Absolutely.
That is where, your Tom Cruises, your, I guess, Arnold Schwarzeneggers, your Jesus is Christ. That's where everyone hangs out. Just in the accordion.
Yeah. The accordion part. Did you ever catch the bus to school?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many years.
Where did you sit in the bus? Up the front?
Up the front next to the bus driver. I'd just like to hold his hand when we went around corners because it was a little bit scary.
I remember sitting at every morning getting on the bus. It was a real stress in high school. Or maybe in primary school it was a real stress. I'm just
You
I
caught
don't
the
know
bus
where.
in primary school?
Yeah.
Like junior primary or like primary?
No.
What year?
Like middle school.
Middle school.
like year
Okay,
6.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember getting on the bus and thinking, I don't want to sit at the back of the bus because I don't think I'm cool enough to sit at the back of the bus, but I don't want to sit at the front of the bus. But all the ones in the middle are taken.
And they're for grannies and stuff. You got to leave those seats. They're like the accessibility seats. What? Which bus did you catch? Did you ever take the 200?
Fuck it. Fuck. This is it. This is it. All right. Call it a day. Deep thought is over.
What? You don't want to?
I can't tell if that was a serious question from you, but you really you looked serious in your face when you said it, and I think that's a good sign.
The moment that I was truly invested, you're like, "We've got to get out. we've got to cut and run from this." I was truly invested because I was musing on the possibility that we could have been bus buddies, like going to school or passing each other and in years past before we knew each other. But
Nick, we went to schools in completely different areas.
Well, that's why I asked whether you ever caught the 200. Jesus, I didn't know whether you had to go to a practice somewhere or do a sports. Okay, as I say it out loud, it doesn't sound as likely. But we lived in Unley.
You know what the fucked up thing is? I think I did catch the 200.
If you ever went down King William Road...
I don't know if it's the same one.
It went down King William Road. It was the 200.
Yeah, I did. But not to school.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
That's our new segment. bus blather. Welcome to Deep Forward, everybody. How you doing? I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you're feeling good. It seems like Australia and New Zealand are doing okay now. I hope that is true to your experiences. I hope that you're feeling happy and healthy and wholesome and wellsome. This is a podcast in which we talk to each other, seen through the internet with me. Michael, say hi.
Hi.
I love it. Short, to the point. You followed my directions exactly, and that's all that I ever asked from our friendship.
Didn't vomit.
Didn't vomit. And I'm Nick. Hi, Nick. Hi. Thanks for asking. Don't put things on top of the microphone mid-podcast record. What are you doing?
I got bored. I get bored during the intro.
God, there was 6 seconds there when I wasn't being able to talk about myself. So let me put things on the recording device in the middle of the audio show.
Don't act like I'm the fucking self-centered one.
I'm going to stand because my watch wants me to stand. So you can just kill a minute if you like. This is free time for Michael. Talk about whatever you wish.
All right, cool. I will. All right, I'll just tell you about a couple of weird thoughts that I had and then I wrote down. Okay. First thought. How do animals, this is a genuine thought, how do animals know that other animals are the same species as them? Because I was thinking that if I was like a snake, and you see like a snake looks at another snake, and it's like, yeah, cool. And if it's like the opposite sex of that snake, it looks at that snake and goes, yeah, cool, we could be mates. And even if it's with like other snakes of the same gender, then they're all just hanging out. So my question is, how do snakes, if they don't know that they're a snake, how do they know that other snakes are snakes and that they're the same? Because if I was a snake, I might think that I'm a monkey. And you actually sometimes... You see goats and stuff that are brought up on a farm that think that they're dogs, or dogs that think that they're sheep. So
people that think that they're monkeys.
Yeah. So it's a genuine question. How do animals know that? They just instinctivly know.
Well, you know what other humans are. Like, you'll recognize a human, won't you?
Right. But so I was thinking about this. If there were no mirrors and I'd never seen myself, but I'd just seen other people, but I was just living in the jungle or something,
you could be a snake. I don't know
if I would.
You could be a snake if you never have a mirror.
But that's what the Jungle Book is about, because he thinks he's whatever. I don't know what he thinks, but he thinks he's not a human, doesn't he? So
I like that you knew enough to know that it supported your point, but not specific enough to be able to identify any of the story of that book. I have a gut feeling that this makes sense, but I'm not going to explore it any deeper.
I do that a lot.
I mean, it's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's a complex combination of pheromones and scents and, mistakes. Those that can't recognize the other species or the foreign species, or that try and mate with the wrong thing and get murdered. That just Darwin's itself out of a population. Yeah. And then you got lots of different species within
I think the more interesting larger
one, bracket. Yeah, I think the more interesting one that I thought you were going for was snakes that see other snakes. Like, there's no other humans that really look like... There's no other species that look like humans. Humans are human, right? But if you're a snake and you're like a brown snake and you walk along and then there's like a black snake, are you... Like, how do you know, does it recognize... Oh, yeah, that's one of me, but not really. Like... Yeah. That's if you're like this rare species of snake, that there's only a handful, that rare species of snake is the same as you. But then there's also crossbreeding stuff as well, like horses and donkeys to make mules and things, right? Like, they obviously are compatible or close enough somehow to create a new species, but do they know that they're not mating within their species? Yeah. Or tyons and ligers and that sort of stuff? I wonder... Oh, are they real things? Yeah. Cool. I wonder what would happen if you had sex with a chimp. I'm sure someone
Apart
has. Apart from being locked up.
Going viral and then
getting a virus.
Yeah. Could humans...
Maybe I'll start the podcast there. I wonder what happens if you have sex with a chimp.
There's been some real sound bites on this one.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin my chance for running for president someday. I knew this podcast would as well.
Yeah. When I think back over the mistakes I've made in my life, Deep Thought was up there.
I've said some really stupid shit on here. Like, not only stupid, like definitely stupid, but also just like rude and ignorant and borderline racist at times, I'm sure. You know, misogynistic. I'm a real piece of shit.
But see, now you have a nice little Kappa audio clip there, which you can use as the self-awareness to prove that you've grown as a human being.
And that's all you need. As long as you're self-aware, then you can do anything.
Yeah, you can fly. You have a game for me. It's going to be a light and fun one.
Yeah. Emma bought this game called Table Talk, and it's actually pretty good. I've done it a couple of times when we've had like people over and it's, 3 a.m. and you're all pretty drunk and, I don't know, running out of things to say. Much like we are now.
137 episodes
buses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got it's called Table Talk. It says, the caption is spark meaningful and revealing conversations. The cards are actually pretty good. I don't know I guess because I've got the cards, I'll just choose a couple and ask them to you, and then, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I think we understand.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Are you happy to do this?
Yeah, no, I'm keen. I'm ready.
It could get pretty real, man.
Wow.
It could get pretty real.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. First one, Nick.
Okay. Questiono uno.
When did you last sincerely apologize to someone, and over what?
I last sincerely apologized to KC for the difficulties we had during lockdown in communicating how difficult it was being apart from each other. And I had tried to be strong and not disclose that it was a painful and stressful experience, because I felt like he was feeling that, and all that my attempt to remain strong did was make him feel like he was alone in feeling stressed and missing each other. So I apologized.
Do you find, or have you found, that apologizing is difficult for you, and has it gotten easier as you've grown up and matured?
I think it has got easier, for sure. And I think, there's a distinction between, there's different levels of apologies, and there's also different levels of your sense of how wrong you were. Sometimes you have to make an apology without really feeling like you did something wrong. And I'm not saying that this was this was completely not the KC situation, but sometimes you get into a fight with your family or whatever, and you're like, I know that that I'm right about this, but I'm just gonna fucking say I'm sorry, and we'll start the conversation up, and then we'll resolve the shit and move on with our lives. So I think there's different tiers of an apology, from like the absolute sincerity to I'm sorry, and just get past it, if you know what I mean. But I think
did you ever speak to your dad about that thing from last time?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had a chat. Yeah.
That's all good now?
Yeah, it's all good. And it's all good with Mum as well. So it all sorted itself out in a healthy way, which was nice. And that was probably other apologies in both directions as well there. But yeah.
Lovely.
So that did resolve, and I am grateful for the vent that you offered, the kind ear last podcast.
I don't think I listened to it, but I will listen back. I wasn't really listening at the time.
What? No, hold on. What about you? It's not just a one-way street, is it?
Okay, yeah.
Or are you
do
doing a
that,
different
yeah.
question for yourself?
Well, yeah, we can do the same. Might be nice to do the same.
Yeah.
Last, probably the other night. Ben and I went over to Ben's house, and we had a few drinks, and
I
he
hit his
expressed
cat with
that
my
he
car.
did. Yeah, he he said to me that he felt like there are certain times when I monopolize the conversation, especially if we're in a group, and I'm trying to, like, I don't know, be funny or the center of attention sometimes, and it makes him really angry, and that he feels that when he feels angry to me, that the last thing he could ever do is tell me, and he feels like I'm not open to. He doesn't feel comfortable bringing that kind of thing up with me, and he would like to. So I apologized for not creating an environment between the two of us that made him feel that he couldn't tell me things that were bothering him.
Oh, that's that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Do you?
I mean, I didn't mean it. But...
Do you feel like you are apologizing more these days? And do you think that correlates with the amount of things you've done wrong, or is it an expression of maturity?
I think it's an expression of maturity, but I'm also getting more joy out of apologizing. Like, it's making me feel better to really own it, rather than the pride thing, which is probably what I would do in the past, is want to save face or want to save my own pride or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't apologize.
Yeah. And you also feel insecure when you're young as well, right? So, like, admitting that you fucked up, it's a slightly bigger deal when you are unsure of yourself, or you're, like, new into a workspace or those kind of things. You don't have the life experience to back up that train of thought and be like, well, actually, it's not going to be the end of the world if I fuck this up, and I just try and set it right,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I don't know. Probably apologizing less these days. Well, I'm apologizing more, but I should have been apologizing more when I was younger.
Yeah, you're doing fewer things worth apologizing for, but you're apologizing more now because you've got more mature.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Second question.
Question 2.
Ooh. In what way do you think you are difficult to live with?
I think that I probably have higher expectations for the cleaning standards of the house. Though, to be fair, I'm not the only one in the house that wishes their house was cleaner.
Right.
But I definitely do. I do actively clean, and I do ask people to clean, because I feel like they don't normally volunteer to do it unless pressured. And I don't want to be the person to ask people to clean the fucking house, but I feel like every fortnight is not unreasonable to, like, do a little bit of a tidy.
Yeah. Who's not doing the dishes?
Well, we got a dishwasher, so that's okay. That's fine. It's more like the kitchen.
What's his name?
Well, I have both genders living in this house. It's more like the stove top and that kind of stuff will get horrible, or the floors will get really covered in crap, and the toilets and that kind of stuff. So it's more surfaces than, like, dishes.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine. I can definitely see that. But I like a tidy house.
I also do a
really
lot
do.
for the house. Like, it's not like it's a one-way transaction either. Like, I'm the one that takes out the bins every week, and I'm the one that organizes, like, the gas and deals with the landlord and a whole bunch of other stuff that, like, because I've just been here the longest, sort of ended up on my plate. So I don't feel like I'm unfairly, expecting others to do things I'm also not doing.
So you think you're a nag?
I worry that I nag about cleaning stuff, but I know that there are others who also wish it was slightly cleaner.
Okay.
I also probably hog the TV a bit much. in the living room.
Do you? Do you not have a TV in your room?
I do.
So what are you doing in the living room?
Well, it's just nicer to lie on a couch than it is to sit in your room and watch TV.
I hope you only think that way about watching the TV.
No, I also do sex on the couch.
Not about like jerking off. Nick, why are you jerking off on the couch? You got your own bed.
It's just more comfortable.
Nice, right? There's more stimulus.
I don't think the others can connect the computers up to the TV if they wanted to watch in the living room anyway, because I got rid of the cables that are more universal and just put the one in that I can use.
Okay, so
that's a joke. Okay. That's also a joke.
Oh, right. It sounds like a half joke, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's half true because it's just an HDMI cable, but for whatever reason, the other people just don't tend to watch in the living room.
Yeah. In what ways am I difficult to live with? Well, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, personality, smell.
Personality. Let's start with personality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either like really hyperactive or I'm in a really bad mood. It seems like so. I'm
There's
constantly,
not a lot of middle in that spectrum.
There really isn't. And I'm always like just. I think that Emma feels like she can't. It would be tough to try and tell me something serious, or it'd be like, "Hey, we have to pay this bill," or "Can you pay this bill?" or something. Because I don't really take that much seriously, unless it's like something that really relates to me, and then I'll take it very seriously. And then I hate it when anyone doesn't take that thing as seriously as I do, and as I think they should. What else?
But aren't things like bills kind of important? Like, don't you value having like hot water and internet?
Yeah. But I just don't want to talk about them. They're boring.
Okay.
And it's not very shiny.
Okay.
A bill. Yeah. I also, apart from that, I think I'm not too bad.
I mean, you do a fair amount of cooking, and you seem fairly clean.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think about what it was like when I was living with housemates, and I was probably when I was living with Austin, I used to drink his booze, and that pissed him off, which is fair enough.
Yeah, that's not a nice housemate thing.
Yeah, it's not. But Emma lets me drink all of her booze, so.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. Is this fun? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's
Cool,
killing time.
Cool.
I mean, ultimately, that's what podcasts are, right? Just like a long way to kill time.
Yeah. Which of your friends do you envy most?
Which of my friends?
It'd be weird if you said.
Oh, I can't say you.
Apart from me. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Well, it was obviously going to be you because I envy you the most. What do I envy? Which of my friends do I envy most? I don't think I'm a hugely envious person because I think I'm satisfied with my own directions and choices. There are certain things that I was envious with in sort of, I guess, like personality things or confidence things. Like I was always envious of Eleanor for knowing what she wanted to do and sort of just getting out and having that diligence to do it and to go off and get into pharmacy and then decide, no, I'm actually going to go off and get into OT or I suppose I'm envious of people who are confident in their skin. I wish that I had some of the self-confidence early on that other people seem to get naturally. And then for a while, I suppose there was like relationship envies as well, where it's like, oh, it would be nice if I had a partner.
Right.
But I think that those are kind of more generic than they are any individual one person. It was more just a reflection of, I mean, isn't envy ultimately just a reflection of what you want for yourself?
Yeah, I think that should be it should be a slightly different, better worded question. It should be what attributes of your friends would you like yourself, or something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, I feel pretty like in a pretty lucky position, to be honest. You know, like I set out to write a TV show and I'm getting to write the TV show, you know, like that. There's not much more career-wise at the moment that I would be looking for, you know, getting to work on video games and write TV shows. It's not it's not a bad place to have ended up. So
Yeah,
yeah, it can only really be personality things that
yeah.
I would look to.
And well, maybe not envy, but yeah, the things that I look at qualities that my friends have that I wish that I had, kind of like things that you said before, people that maybe not even knew what they were doing and went after it, but made really bold decisions, and like you
We're not allowed to talk about each other.
Yeah, but like it'd be things like that, Dave. You like guys that are just like, all right, I'm uprooting my life and I'm moving to another country and I'm killing it as well.
Yeah.
That's what I wish I had, like a bit of courage in that.
I mean, you'd move cities, you know, like yes, there are like changes between moving to a country and moving between cities, but at the same time, it's not like there are a lot of similarities there. You're losing a whole network of support and stability that you'd built up, and you have to start from scratch.
It's not just the moving though. It's the moving to go after a dream.
Right.
Is what.
So why did you move?
Is what I really admire. I moved to study.
Well, I mean, isn't that
I think that's the
pursuing a dream?
superficial reason.
I mean, it's you deciding that
it was a dream. I guess the dream changed.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you moved to go off and do a thing that you were invested and passionate about. Like, don't write yourself off for that. That was why you ended up where you are.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily writing myself off. I just all I'm saying is that I admire that in seeing that in other people, and when people do it well and they're happy and it's making them happy, and that's what I really admire.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Okay, bit of a change of pace.
Okay.
Think about someone you once had a crush on. Can you describe what they were like?
What they were like, personality,
I guess,
or physically.
How big? Yeah, how big were their dick?
People you had a crush on. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me when I try and think back about it all, because a lot of like those closeted years, for instance, it's so much of it is like tied up in like uncertainty and horniness that I don't know if it's even really like a crush so much as it is just like fucking hormones and like just jizz just needing an outlet. So I don't think I ever really had like a crush in the way that like you'd walk into the schoolyard or whatever and like you'd see him across the road and be like, and like hearts aflutter kind of, you know, sort of thing.
Can I just say it? It's really interesting to hear you say that, because I almost can't relate to that much, because I can't, and maybe this is tied in with like the closeted thing, but all of my crushes I've never really, it's never been really centered around sexualness.
Interesting.
They've always been, I've never like thinking about having sex with that person, if I've had a crush on them, has always come later.
Right. So it's been like a personality crush. Like you've just like...
Yeah, totally. Like imagining like bringing them home and meeting my parents. That's the real...
Wow. That's where the crush was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Totally.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, coming at it from very different angles there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah,
know. It would have just been like any kind of generically somewhat muscular guy, classically handsome.
Do you remember your first crush?
That's
How
that's
old
what
you
I'm
were?
trying to think.
I remember all my
Honestly, it
crushes.
probably wasn't. Maybe, I was going to say, honestly, I don't know if it happened at school. I think I probably had a crush on the captain of my hockey team.
He sounds hot already.
Yeah, his name was Michael. It's not a joke. um, but yeah, like, I think
What color hair?
sort of like a goldeny brown, like a light sort of Adonis kind
That's
of
nice.
golden brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because, of course, in like when you're going off to hockey practice and stuff, you're often in the changing rooms getting changed, and you got just nice little glimpses of boys taking their tops off. So I think that counts as a crush.
Yeah, yeah. So it might count as a crime.
Hey, that's one of the perks of being gay. You are forced into the room where everyone takes their clothes off instead of being arrested for it.
I remember my first crush distinctly was this girl called Lucy. She was so... Oh, I've got a great story. Not about her. There was that. There was Lucy. There was a few girls after Lucy. There was this time. I just thought about this the other day. Right. So I was, in terms of popularity, I wasn't really a cool guy.
What?
In high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I know,
let me
dude.
just
I know.
recalibrate. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I was a guy that wanted to be in the cool group, but would everyone knew I just wasn't in the cool group, which is the worst. And this
Yeah.
is like year 6 and 7, right?
Yeah.
And there was like the girl that all the guys just decided each year was like the hot girl. I don't know if you had that.
Is this the cool guy group would decide who the hot girl was?
Yeah,
Or were
kind
you
of. They'll be like,
you knew this as well?
Well, I would hang around the cool guy group.
Yeah, you
But
glean it.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was definitely on the outskirts.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just listen. I wouldn't say much. And there's this girl in year 7, I think it was, Maria. She was. Oh, Maria's so hot. And one Saturday afternoon, I was sitting at home with Ben, and I was probably like scheming some way to become cool. And we had like an address book with everyone in the whole year's phone numbers and stuff.
Yep.
And I was talking to Ben about this girl called Maria, and I was probably lying to him and saying, yeah, I think we're going to go out or something. And he was like, you're not going to fucking go out with Maria.
Oh no.
And I was like, fuck it. I'm calling, mind you, I'd never spoken to this woman before.
Oh, no.
Girl, not a woman. And I rang her up on like a Saturday afternoon, and her sister, I actually won't say that because that'll reveal who she actually is. And her sister answered the phone, and I was like, hey, it's Michael Zabrecki. And she's like, who? And I was like, just, can you get Maria for me? And she's like, sure. Maria comes
Oh,
to the
this is a
phone,
home phone. Sorry.
Yeah,
That took
landline,
me,
dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey. And she's like, who's this? And I'm like, Michael Zabrecki. And she's like, hi, why are you calling me? I'm like, just wondering if you want to go out with me. And she's just like, can I get back to you? And I was like, definitely. Definitely you can get back to me. And so I hang up the phone. And I'm like, she said she's going to think about it. And then she'd obviously completely forgotten about this thing, or tried to forget about it or something.
Yeah.
And then 2
Went through
weeks
years
later
of
at a
therapy.
party,
Yeah.
I, like one of those year
How
7
old were you
parties,
here?
whatever.
Yeah, okay.
13.
Yeah, so when you said at a
Maybe.
party, I was like trying to gauge what
Yeah.
kind of party we're talking about here.
Everyone was drinking 7-Up and pizza.
Yeah, nice.
And I then told everyone, this is still like a party that I barely got an invite to. And then I just told everyone at the party that, Yeah, I asked out Maria, and she said she's going to get back to me. So I just told everyone that because I still wanted to seem like. I think in my delusional year 7 brain, I thought this is going to be my ticket to cool city. Here we come.
Yeah,
and then I told everyone, and then it's funny looking back on this because you can at the time you can't recognize what is actually happening.
Yeah.
But then when you look back on it, you can.
Yeah.
And I remember not realizing at the time, but realizing now that some girls came up to me and said, "Did you ask out Maria?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And they were obviously laughing.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, "Yeah, if you see her," by the way, she's at this party.
Yeah.
I haven't said hello to her. Why would I talk to her? And I was like, yeah, if you see her, tell her to get back to me with her answer.
Yeah.
And then this poor girl, who's probably just trying to like not bring this up, and I've just completely burdened her with this request out of nowhere. She comes up to me and she's like, "Is it okay if I say no?" I'm like, totally. That's fine. And she did this in front of guys that I really wanted to find me cool.
Yeah. But I think you probably took it on the chin. You know, you showed some respect. You said, "I understand." You know, and in a way, that kind of gentle masculinity is actually cooler than a big kind of fit or crying or anger or punching a tree. So I think you actually probably earned some respect that day.
I didn't, and I think that was one of the last times I actually properly hung out with the cool kids.
Okay.
Cool kids.
So it's kind of like a big turning point.
Yeah, I think that was the point when I realized I just need to be myself.
Yeah.
And not try to be cool.
Yeah. A lesson you're still trying to learn to this day.
Still trying to learn it. Yeah, that was kind of sad. And there's one other crush. I didn't even have a crush on that girl. I just wanted to be seen.
Yeah, you were using her. It was a status climb.
Fucked up, dude. That's so fucked up. There was another girl in year 11 that snapped at me one day. I remember her snapping at me at her locker. I said some like stupid little thing, and she was just like, "Michael, you fucking hate you. You're so fucking stupid. Why the fuck would you say that?" She flipped out at me, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like I just probably said something insensitive as a joke. Luckily, I learned from this experience, and she flipped out at me, and like the as soon as she finished flipping out at me and storming off, I remember thinking, "Fuck, that girl is so hot," and I had a crush on her for like 2 years. As soon as
So not before that point, but the moment that she like completely lost interest and explicitly said that she hated you, your body was like, "That's what I want."
That is 100% true. By the way, I am not exaggerating that at all.
No, I believe you. Oh wow. God, the teenage boy's brain, eh? It's a crazy fucking thing.
How did I make it out of high school alive?
Yeah, it's impressive, really. Jeez. Hey, Michael, how about we segue into some science news? Does that sound good? Would you like that?
Yeah, I'd love that, dude.
Let's segue to it now.
Please.
Now, well, we're going to do it now. So, play the song. It's that time. Time for science news. Good song. Very good song. Still holds up. Lots of people like it.
Greatest hit.
Science. Okay, couple of things here. You can take your pick here. Tell me what you're most interested in: time or temperature? Time or
Time.
Time.
Serious?
Okay, time. Alrighty. Interesting article in Vox for this past week, entitled "Why Time Feels So Weird Right Now." The headline here is March was 30 years long and April was 30 minutes long. What gives? Emily Vanderwerf at Vox talked to a time philosopher to understand what the hell is up with our subjective perceptions of time at the moment. This is sort of an interview that was conducted with Dr. Adrian Barden, a professor of philosophy at Wake Forest University, and author of the book A Brief History on the Philosophy of Time. So the question that she sort of kicks off with was the fact that March seemed to be forever long and April seemed to be really short. Was that something that you kind of experienced? What's your sense of time at the moment?
Now that you say that, it did feel like March went on for ages, and
we're midway through May.
Oh yeah, we're not even in April anymore.
We're not in April anymore.
Shit.
We're more than 2 weeks into May. Your birthday is next week.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So everyone's had this kind of very strange thing thrust upon them, and so Dr. Barden was asked why this was, and so let me just read through a little bit of an explanation here because I found it quite interesting. There's the idea of internal time, or our subjective perception of time, is quite a complex thing. There's not really a single internal clock that you can then compare to an external clock. It's just our brains just doing very weird things, trying to integrate information and coordinate, stimuli in a way that makes sense. The thing that the reason that this lockdown stuff has felt so weird is potentially a combination of emotion and attention. And so the type of emotion that you're feeling affects the type of attention that you pay to your external circumstances and that sort of thing. So you have sort of two ends of a spectrum here. When you're relaxed, when you're doing something routine or productive or creative, you get into that psychological state called flow, which I'm sure you've talked about your ability to just jump into writing some music for 8 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So that flow is relaxing, it's outward directed attention, it's pleasant and calming. It's, when you're knitting or playing an instrument or, that kind of thing. But then in the simultaneous quarantine situation, you've also got demands on your attention. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, there's some kind of stress or anxiety, your routine's disrupted, you're probably not doing what you normally do, you're broken out of the flow, and you've got this kind of opposite to flow, which is the negative kind of inward directed attention or cognitive load. Right. Having a lot of stuff on your mind. So the psychological opposite of flow is called rumination, which is repetitive, obsessive, negative thoughts about a situation or the tasks that you're engaged in. So the state of rumination is closely associated with subjective reports of time slowing down or dragging by. So when you're feeling repetitive, obsessive, negative things about what you're doing, time drags on. And when you're feeling calm and outward and creative and everything, time speeds up and you lose time because you're just absorbed in what you're doing, right? So The paradox here is that we somehow feel like time is dragging and flying by at the same time, right? It comes from the same situation, though, which is that you're out of routine. You're no longer doing tasks that would normally feel productive and good. You're treading water or trying to cope with situations you don't want to deal with. So in the moment, all of the things that you're having to do are stressful, negative, slow, dragging, cognitive load kind of things because of the virus and you're stuck at home and all this kind of thing. You can't do the things that were relaxing. But then,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing you're doing, and that's what you've been doing every single day, and that's the only state of mind you've been in, and you don't have the breakups of your other kind of opportunities to go outside or to, do your relaxing hobbies and that kind of thing, because every day is the same, then retrospectively, all of those days blur into one, and they just seem like they fly by really quickly.
Wow.
So, yeah,
It makes sense.
It makes total sense, right? In the moment,
Yeah.
it sucks, and so it drags, and then that's all it's ever been for the past month, and so it just disappears into the rearview mirror. Every day just was the same as the one before, and it'll be the same as the one after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just found that a really interesting, but as you say, very intuitive kind of explanation for why people have been feeling this way. And obviously it'll differ for people who are out there, working in grocery stores or in the medical front lines. They're obviously doing different or dangerous situations, and that kind of affects the way they're perceiving it. And also sleep as well, because internal clocks will be confused because you're not seeing as much sunlight. Your normal sleeping patterns are being interrupted by anxiety. You're lying in the middle of the night trying to get to sleep and you can't. So that's also juggling around with your circadian rhythms and your body clock as well. So yeah, a lot of interesting things in this article, which if you want to read in full, I've put into the chapter title here of this segment. So just go off and click it. It's really good.
Yeah, our perception of time just in general is slightly worrying, like how malleable it is. We talked about this 2 weeks ago or something about how time is speeding up.
Yeah,
due to how big a percentage of your life you are living in any particular year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's kind of scary that it can just, as far as you're concerned, it can slow down and speed up, and you're like, what is going on? It's not.
Yeah, you kind of wish it was like an external constant, but it really isn't.
Yeah, and you totally feel like being at work. I know if you're at the start of your day at work and you're just thinking, fuck, it's I've still got 6 hours until 5 p.m.
Yeah.
It just feels like the biggest amount of time, and then you finish work at 5 p.m. and then all of a sudden you blink and it's 1 a.m. and you're like, what? That's not fair.
That was the same amount of time, but it's,
my free time has just evaporated and the work time goes on forever.
Yeah, it's literally those two factors we were talking about, right? Like the cognitive load versus the flow. When you're out relaxing, boom, time flies.
Yeah.
So here's my hypothetical for you, and I don't know what the answer is, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Can you imagine a world in which there was no such thing as subjective time, and every second and every hour and every day passed at a constant speed regardless of what you were doing in it?
Can I imagine that?
Yeah. Would you want that? So think about that. Your bad stuff takes the exact same amount of time as the good stuff, but the good stuff, relative to our current levels of subjectivity, the good stuff lasts longer because it doesn't fly by as fast.
Wait, yeah, of course I would want this.
But then the bad stuff also...
No, the bad stuff would be shorter and the good stuff would be longer. Because the bad stuff feels longer and the good stuff feels shorter.
Yeah.
So it would just be better all round.
Yeah.
Make that happen. Do your thing. Make it happen.
I'll feel a switch.
Is this your birthday present for me?
Yeah, I've been cooking something up for a couple of months, and I've decided to fundamentally alter the nature of human perception. Surprise!
How did you know that I wanted that? Thank you, Nick. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. So yeah.
Speaking of which, by
the moment you hit 31, every second you will feel tick by with the rhythmic cadence of eternity. It'll just... Every second will be 1 second forever.
Man,
Okay, but
31 seems
here's
so far away.
Okay, so we talked about the extremes there. Good things take longer. Bad things feel shorter. But here's the middle ground. Monotony is endless. When you're in the middle, when you're not really in a good or a bad sense, that 1 second is just going to drag on, right? You'll feel that.
Yeah, I've always only ever been with one person at a time, though, so I don't really...
I gotcha. Sorry, yeah, that was slow off the bat there.
Thanks. What's monotony mean?
Monotony?
Monotonous. Let me work it out. Hey, Google. Like just mundane.
Yeah.
Mundane stuff.
You know what monotonous means?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the way you said it. It's with your weird fake Kiwi accent.
Okay,
I can't understand it.
It's untrue. Shall we do a recommendation engine as well? It's been a couple of weeks. Keep forgetting about it in previous podcasts.
Love it. It's a hit.
It's a hit. Let me grab the keys.
Welcome to Deep Thought's recommendation engine.
Alrighty, kick us off. What have you been enjoying?
All right. I got... How many do I have? 2. I'll start with 2. First one is... I'm listening to Adam Buxton's audiobook. Almost finished it. It's amazing. I think it's he's claiming that it's the first audiobook that has been released before the book will be released due to the pandemic or whatever.
Huh.
If you don't know who Adam Buxton is, you should check out his podcast. It's 100% my favorite podcast.
Is this a fiction book, or is this?
No, it's a book on his life, but he's got like nice little asides and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, I really connect with Adam Buxton in this really weird way. I just feel like he and I are the same person in some weird level, on some weird parallel universe. I don't know. I just he goes through his life, and he explains like the music that he got into as like a young man, and when he first started dating and stuff. It's just great. So yeah, check that out. It's if you got Audible credits, I've got like fucking 6 for some reason, because I've apparently been paying for an Audible subscription for the last 6 months. But yeah, check it out.
Lovely. I'm gonna package up 2 recommendations here, because they're both albums, and there's slightly less to talk about with an album. So the first one that I've been really digging is the latest by Sanfa Min. It's titled The Cormorant 1 and 2. It's
How do you spell that?
Sanfa Min, Sanfermin. That's 2 words. The Cormorant 1 and 2. Sanfa Min is kind of think of it as sort of like an anthemic kind of the National style kind of rock band thing, but also suffused with a whole sort of folky-ish, Sufjani kind of flavor as well. So it's got these kind of big choruses in some songs, and then other ones are kind of a little bit more avant-garde piano pieces, and there's 2 vocalists, and they tend to alternate songs, so you hear like a male and female voice sort of back to back, and this really interesting kind of call and response between songs. And I liked one of their earlier albums. I fell off sort of the last couple a little bit, but this one they really came back, and I'm really digging it. I think it's fucking great.
Cool.
And then the other one is Fiona Apple's latest one, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Have you given that a crack?
Oh, dude, I cannot get into that at all.
You can't.
No,
It's-
what? I don't know. I feel like I'm an idiot. I'm missing something. I feel like a real idiot, because everyone's telling me it's the greatest thing ever. And I put it.
Oh,
on,
I don't think it's the greatest thing ever, but I do Like it did work for me. I understand why people wouldn't get into it though, because it is very percussive.
It's a tough listen.
Yeah, it's a tough listen, and it's percussive at the expense of like harmony sometimes and melody. But I think people connect with the emotion of it a lot, and I think her voice is fucking unbelievable. Yeah, I find it really fascinating. I don't think I'm at the level of like giving it pitchforks 10 for the first time in 15 years or something like that. It's good, but it's not like a mind blower to me. Yeah, they gave it the first 10 in like 15 years or something. But that's pitchfork.
What was the last 10?
I can't remember.
They gave Kid A 10, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, Nico Murphy, Mully?
Yeah.
So he's worked with that guy.
Yeah.
The planetarium guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who are we talking about here?
I was listening to that album last night. Yeah.
I love Planetarium. Planetarium I'm really into.
I was thrashing that last night. It was such a good album.
Yeah. I don't know if Nico Muley is actually in San Fermin. But
no, he just said he worked with him.
He worked with him,
Brooklyn
yeah.
Somewhere.
So that probably explains some of the Sufjani flavor of it in this latest one. But yeah, the Cormorant Run and 2 is really, yeah, it's really fucking good. The Fiona Apple thing, I think people really respond to the lyricism. I think she has a very writerly good sense of words. She finds amazing rhymes. She has a patter that's really interesting. Instrumentation wise, I would probably like slightly more breadth to the sound in some cases, but yeah, I have been really still enjoying it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll check out the San Fermin.
Yeah,
for sure. Probably won't go back to Fiona Apple. All right. Well, I had another one.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm waiting for.
Another recommendation.
Yeah.
So I've seen 2 really good comedy specials in the last week, and one of them was Maria Bamford's, which blew me away. Really,
Can't wait. I want to get to it.
Proper genius, man. Like she's. I don't even mean. That's not even. She is an actual genius.
Yeah.
The way she ties. She comes back around to things that she's. Man, it was just crazy. And the other one, the other special that I saw was Mark Norman's comedy special called Out to Lunch, which he couldn't get anyone to buy his comedy special. He was shopping around to like Netflix and a whole bunch of other places, and then he couldn't get anyone to buy it, so he just released it to YouTube.
Oh wow!
But yeah, it's very, very, very funny.
I'll have to watch Bamford because I love her. I'll keep an eye out for.
Don't. I don't think you should watch that. I don't think he'll be your cup of tea, to be honest.
Oh, Mark, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the first Middleditch and Schwartz improvised special on Netflix.
Dude, how good are they?
It's so fucking good. I can't believe the insanity. So I've only watched the first one, which is the wedding party one. The insanity of the people that they speak to, like this random guy's like confidence in talking about someone else's wedding, and the very strange coordination of all these 4 people was very odd from the get-go. But then the fact that they can like improv their way through this amazing 45-minute long kind of set and then bring it all back at the end in like satisfying ways was very impressive. I can't wait to watch the others.
I was talking about this to someone the other day, and I was saying that it's like magic in a way, like the way that there's something weird that the illusion that your brain is producing from watching these guys, as they are clearly not in costume or anything, and you 100% your brain is tricked and thinks is totally along for the ride.
Yeah,
and then they switch characters, and your brain's just okay, yep.
They pick up the impersonation that the other person did, and you're like, Jesus, like. Now you're mimicking accents and performances because someone else needs to play a different character. And then also like the whips. I mean, obviously they're insanely fast thinking. Like it just goes with it without saying. But the moments where, like in this first episode, they talk about how they're going to drink out of a microphone. You know, a couple of times they make this stupid joke and they play on it a little bit. And then at one point, Thomas Middleditch is clearly kind of a little bit of a loss to, you know, what to say. He just says, oh, you know, congratulations, you know, 2 months sober or something like that. And the speed with which Ben Schwartz is able to come back and be like, well, that's really fucking dark considering I was just talking about toasting for the past.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy shit. How do you internally
amazing,
maintain the sense of this character and remember that you said some of this shit, you know, 10 minutes ago, to go off and play different characters and play, you know, like just silly makeup bullshit back and forth with each other. And then when someone tees up that comment, have the internal clock or the internal character monitor to flag that and say, that doesn't make sense. We've established this guy has been drinking. You know, like, it's fucking unbelievable.
There's a lot of processing.
There's so much
levels
thought
happening.
And like, even when they like externalize it at a meta level, when you see them trying to remember the names of all the characters that they've set up and like groaning as they realize how many fucking people they've now established and what everyone's names and relationships to each other's are.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, such a good watch.
Yeah, no, that's, I hope they do more.
Yeah, I think they probably will. It seems like it's been a bit of a success. But the question is,
I think it has.
When's the next time that an American crowd can fill out at a theater and you can go off and record a group special like that?
God, shit. Forgot about that.
Let me throw
that's a good one.
Let me throw one more out because we're talking TV.
Sure.
Devs. Devs is a series by Alex Garland, who did Annihilation and Deus Ex Machina. Oh, sorry, just Ex Machina. There is a 8-part dramatic series made by FX, completely written and directed by Alex Garland, called Devs. DEV for vegetable.
Nick
Offerman. This is not a comedy series. Nick Offerman playing completely straight, dramatic role. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. It's got the exact kind of sci-fi kind of questions around the edges that you will wet yourself over. It's really inventive.
And it's only 8 episodes.
It's only 8 episodes. They're all 42 to 49 minutes. None of them stretch out. It is fascinating. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It is beautiful. At the start of every episode slams you with this hypnotic kind of blend of music and imagery that just looks so cinematic and stunning. San Francisco's never looked creepier. It's just existential and intelligent and impressive at every level. I think you'll fucking love it.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I am in.
Give
I
it
think
a
Ben
watch.
told me to watch this the other day as well. So
I've chatted to him a little bit about it.
I love an 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's real good.
Great.
Well, if you've enjoyed these kind of things and you want more content to listen to, well, there's hundreds of episodes. I suppose we can say hundreds, really, over at deepfort.podbean.com. And there's like a nice long, selection of things to fill some of your quieter moments. We got facebook.com/deepfort for your connections with us. If you want to see some relevant posts about the things we talked about, if you want to send us a message or a question or a suggestion, jump on the Facebook. There's Instagram, which has more recommendation engine stuff. We've been throwing them up. Michael still hasn't fucking put his workout up a month on, like a bloody liar. But nevertheless, you should join us. Deepfort@gmail.com. Send us a question and a comment and a thought, and we will answer it. And there's probably others. SoundCloud and Twitter, and you do you. There's lots. Oh, Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating. We love you. Be safe.
Assuming you've already had... Oh, you haven't had dinner? Yeah.
I wonder if we need an outro. Sorry, I wasn't intending to totally stop.
Yeah, what do you think I was fucking doing, dude? I'm still on the clock. I'm trying to generate an outro.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was what you're doing. We're not in sync anymore.
That's what she said.
Or he said.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oops.
All right. Outro starts now. Oh fuck me. I forgot. I just opened that up and the first thing that I saw was that giant dick pic that I sent you last time. And it's I'm opening it on my computer as well.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a good dick. He had a good dick. What can I say?
What are we doing for outro?
What are we doing for outro? Okay, let's. Well, maybe we should just start by making a list of what we want the outro to achieve. I think it should be no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. I think it should involve both of us pretty equally. It should be kind of funny. Maybe one of us makes the other one laugh, and then like I can use that laugh as like a nice kind of sort of end point. I just sort of fade out during the laugh. Maybe it's topical, or maybe it's kind of just observational. I don't know. What do you think the outro should be?
I'm just looking through my phone.
Okay. Well, it would be nice if you sort of showed the same interest in the outro that I show in the outro. So it feels a little bit, I don't know.
Look,
I'll say it feels a bit rude. That's what I was saying.
Speaking of rude, I wrote this down specifically for you because I don't think anyone would hate this more than you. But I was trying to make a Thai. I made a Thai curry the other day when I asked you for a recipe for that. It was 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But then I tried to make some like another one, and I didn't have any. I realized that after I was cooking some like vegan chicken thing in a sauce. Mm-hmm. Like I had one of those green curry paste, but you need to add coconut cream.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Just thinking back to sort of the agenda that I set for this outro, just going over those sort of to-do list items. We had sort of 2 to 3 minutes. I thought, if like tight and concise would be good. Involves both of us. And I think most importantly, interesting. If
you're right.
How are we feeling just at the midway point of this outro? Interesting
You're
or
right.
funny, or connects with the audience.
No, it's not really going to connect.
No.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have. I actually could just say this in one sentence.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah.
Didn't really need the preamble. I just
there's
used
a lot of setup. Yeah.
soy milk instead of coconut milk in a curry, and it didn't work. It curdled, actually. Is that a real laugh? Is that a fake laugh?
Oh, great story.
I hated that laugh, dude. It made me feel scared.